Hi there, this is Andrea Argueta, and today I will be presenting you my historical biogeographical profile on the genus Paedocypris. Paedocypris belongs to the order of Cypriniformes and the family of Cyprinidae, which are the carps and true minnows. Among the carps and true minnows, they can vary in size. So you have this bad boy up here who looks like he can eat you, and then you have the Paedocypris down here, which are actually considered the smallest fish in the world. The biggest one recorded was only 7.9 millimeters long. There's really not a lot known about them yet, but they do lack a lot of features of an adult fish. They have no bony skull around their brain, and they have the characteristics of a fish larvae. They're pretty much like fluorescent when you look at them up close, so they're pretty cool looking, and they're actually considered a truncated species and not a dwarf species. Scientists are really unsure whether they should be a part of Rasborinae or Cyprinidae. There are a lot of other species within Rasborinae that have gone under evolutionary changes towards dwarfism. As you can see here, all these species within the red markings are considered dwarf or truncated species. Ultimately, they are put under the Cypriniformes underneath the Cyprinidae, but there's still a lot of uncertainty about this. There are a lot of scientists who don't agree with it, and they think that they should be within a different clade. But there's still a lot that's not known about this species. They're actually considered a sister species to all of the other species within Cypriniformes. So there's actually only three species within the genus Paedocypris, and they're all found in Southeast Asia, and here is where they're found in this location. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any maps of their exact location, but by looking at the cover of the peat swamp forest and the location stated in the literature, I can kind of map out where they might be within the boundaries of the peat swamp. So really, their limitations is the peat swamp because these are the only areas where they're found. So you have a population here and here and here. Cypriniforms today are actually found everywhere except for South America. So they do have a really big range. But how did Paedocypris end up endemic to Indonesia? And this really, really puzzled me because, they were only discovered in 1994 and there's not a lot of literature on them. So I really had to do some digging, and I found that the sister genus to Paedocypris is Dinionidae and Sunadinionidae, and these two species both have a common ancestor, which is the Autophysi. And if we rewind 140 million years ago, this species actually originated in Asia, and how they distributed from here is they actually did it by the sea. So I did some more digging and I found that Dionidae did in fact originate from Asia, and the two places where they were stated in the literatures how they ended up dispersing from here is through the Tigris Euphrates River Basin and the Pearl River Basin, as you can see here in China, and this is actually located in Iran up here. The Pleistocene had a really big effect on this. There was probably some freshwater rivers following the reduction of the ice as it came down here, and it opened up some new routes for these species to come down in. But I was really discouraged at first when I couldn't find anything specifically on Paedocypris. But here, we can take a look at their close relatives and their sister groups, and we can map out and try to figure out how they ended up endemic to Indonesia. So as their close relatives took these routes down here, it's very likely that Paedocypris took the same route. So if we take a closer look at the river systems during Sundaland, you can see that a lot of them went into the exact areas of the peatland. And as they've gotten closed off from the coastal areas and such, they've created these really acidic black water pools, and this created geographical barriers between populations and individuals as they migrated inland. And in the literature, it states that a lot of allopatric speciation has happened among the species. Um, And there's not a lot of nutrients within these waters. They've adapted to these waters, and it's also hypothesized because there wasn't a lot of like food to go around. That's one of the main reasons why they've evolved into a truncated species. Climate change has had an effect on the species. As the water temperature increases, it can even dry up, but they've been known to swim into the peat and survive in there. So it has been an issue, but not as bad as what the anthropogenic activities have been on the species. So if you take a look at the peat swamps, you can see from 2004 to 2015, the landscape has drastically changed. A lot of it has gone to industrial plantations, but it's definitely human activities that's going to lead to this species extinction. They're actually listed as a near threatened species right now, so they're on the verge of going to threatened because of probably all of this like deforestation and such. But this species actually might have a better chance than all the rest of them because honestly, there's not much happening in the island of Bataan. How safe is this species, though? I guess we don't really know because, genetic effects can definitely decrease their fitness and catastrophes can wipe them out in one swoop. But if you take a look at the color of the water within the peat swamps, you really can't see what's going on in there. And remember, these fish are the size of a pencil head, basically. So it's going to be really hard to conserve them.